angels willing to hold us in their arms. When our worth was stone, our ashes, and we both passed on. Let forever mean forever and carry on.
Good afternoon. How is everybody doing? So, Jen was complaining the other day because she said I really suck at dressing myself, and that I never match, right? I never match. So today I decided that I would match the set. So we'll see what you think. Right? I'd match the set. So that should work, right? No, I've had a shirt for some time that is it's green, and it just so happens to be pretty much dead on the color of chroma green. So I thought I would mess around and wear that shirt today. So it kind of makes me look see through. So anyway, I it's my invisibility cloak as long as chroma key is enacted, so or enabled, I should say. So probably not going to be a real super long monologue today. I do have something that I do want to talk about, and it's something I've mentioned over the course of the past. Well, I know this week, and I'm not sure if I mentioned it last week or not. Hang on, let me cough. I don't know if I mentioned it last week or not. But I have the documents. I have the documents to prove what I have been saying. So we will get to that here in just a moment. Again, I think it's great. I think it's absolutely awesome. So let's see. Let me get screen switched around here and get that screen up front. Let's go ahead and take care of the normal stuff here. Amazon, we are at $68.89. That is like incredible. So we even went up a little bit more than what we were before. So that is absolutely awesome. Thanks to everybody that uses our Amazon affiliate link. Clearly it's working, and will definitely be helping. Like I had said before, we'll always be transparent with this stuff because that's just the way it is. I don't feel comfortable being otherwise, and so we'll have to come up with something good in a couple of months when this comes in. Like I had been saying, unless something comes up any time sooner for me to purchase that knife that I'm wanting. Then that's what this month's earnings will go towards. So it's not a bad little deal. Let me try to bring it up. I think it's like really cool. That one right there is the one that I'm looking at getting, and like I say, if unless something comes up that I can get it sooner than the end of the month. Then the end of the month when Amazon comes in, I will be getting that. Of course, obviously, we'll be able to use that for our own prepping kind of needs, but as well as I'm going to do a pretty extensive review, and I'm going to show you a teardown and how to properly lubricate it to keep it, maintained as best as possible for as long as possible. So anyway, I can't wait. I think that thing is so awesome. I really do. There's a lot of different knives out there, a lot of different models, but I looked long and hard at all kinds of different ones. There's Smith & Wesson makes some spring assist knives as well, and they have one that I was kind of torn in between this and the Smith & Wesson, but I'm going to go ahead and go with the SOG. I really am. I've kind of heard some bad things here and there about the Smith & Wesson knives, so, it is what it is, and I really do like the way this is set up. What really did the trick for me as to make my decision on the SOG was a couple of things. Number one was the release. of the blade, and then a lot of people complain about that lock back there. I want that lock. I want that lock. Okay, I'm a realist, and it's not a 357 Magnum. It's a knife, and I don't expect that at some point in time I'm gonna have to whip out my knife in such lightning fast speed to defend myself that that lock is going to cause a problem. That whole argument is kind of ridiculous to me. I think it's a good idea to put a lock there, just to make sure that it doesn't open up in your pocket. It's a good idea. One of the things I really like about this particular knife is I was hoping that they had a picture of it. It's got a really, really deep carry pocket clip, and I really like that idea. I really, really do like that idea. But anyway, that's you can tell I'm like excited. That's what we're going to be getting this month. So again, I believe in being transparent and upfront and open about this stuff. I told you if it was related to the news show, meaning like our Amazon affiliate or anything else, donations or anything like that, going to be open and honest about it, because that's the way I feel it should be. So we're not here as a news entity to make a bunch of profits and all that stuff. I think that's where there's issues that arise. Okay, because all of a sudden it becomes about profit, right? And when it comes to news and information, I want you guys to know that we're doing our best to bring you honest, true news. We're not here to fearmonger. We're not here to do whatever it is to get clicks, to get views, to get subscribers, to get money, okay? Hell, we demonetized our channel. You know that. This is the only way I can prove it, is by being 100% transparent, demonetizing the channel from YouTube. That was for many different reasons, but it's just kind of how we roll. So anyway, if you shop Amazon and you would so please, our Amazon affiliate link is in the description of our videos. Also, you can go to thewatchmannews.com. We have search boxes there. You can put that in a search, put whatever you want in a search box. It will open up an Amazon page when you click go, and it will credit us for the sale. It's much, much appreciated. If you don't shop Amazon and you'd like to help out, we do have a donate link. You can either go to thewatchmannews.com, you can click the donate button right here, or you can go to thewatchmannews.com/donate. Either way will take you to the same page here, which is our PayPal donation page. I always let people know it does say Transforming Disabilities up at top. That is us. But it does say the Watchman News donation. I put that there so people wouldn't be too confused. So anyway, again, none of it's ever required, but it's much appreciated. So one other quick shameless promotion, and I'm kind of doing this to what's the right word? Well, I'll just say it. Piss somebody off. I don't know who it is, but anytime that I mention this particular thing in a video, I get a thumbs down. Anytime I mention Kratom in a video, I get a thumbs down. So I want to remind everybody that we do sell Kratom. We have a Kratom website at health.thewatchmannews.com. You can go there. You can purchase Kratom. You can also go to our homepage at thewatchmannews.com. Under the store menu item, all the way at the bottom, is Kratom. You click on that, it will take you to the same website. Yes, that is Kratom, right? Kratom. 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 Let's see how many thumbs down we can get. Kratom. Did I mention Kratom? I thought I forgot. Okay. Anyway, Kratom. I don't get it. I don't get it. It makes no sense to me why somebody would be so against something that helps so many people. Okay? It just really doesn't. It doesn't click to me. Why would you want to bow down? Why would you want to kiss the boots of an industry that not only doesn't give two shits about you, but it will do everything to keep you just sick enough to keep coming back to them? I don't understand that. I don't. I do not get it. I do not get it. You know, it's ridiculous. Anyway, on the Kratom, and I'm not saying it again to get another gig in, although hey, why not? I did speak to his name is John with the company that I get Kratom from, and so I mentioned to him that I'd love to have him come on and speak sometime, and so he wants to kind of polish up himself, so to speak, as far as his public speaking self, because he's not much of a public speaker, and he is very interested in coming on the show. So look forward to that. Look forward to that. Great guy, absolutely great guy. Which reminds me of another thing that I had forgot. And if you want to see John ahead of time, if you go to the videos over here on the right-hand side, if you click on videos, I did add another video last night, and that date could be wrong, but I do believe it was May 18th. The American Kratom Association was at a hearing on banning Kratom in St. Charles County, Missouri. And this is the video from that hearing. Okay, so there's no, it was postponed. The vote was postponed. That's all the information, all the news I can give you at this time on it. But John is one of the people there that was speaking, and that's on the website. You can feel free to go watch that, or the Nevada hearing on Kratom that was back April 3rd. So anyway, good stuff, good stuff. It was really good hearing. So Jen and myself had watched that video last night, and really good, really good. Some really compelling testimonies. So anyway, one second. Alrighty. So what is it that I want to talk about? Well, I've been saying over the course of the past, this week and probably part, at least, of last week, and I've talked about it off and on for some time, but, you know, how powerful that we the people truly are if we stand up and we raise our voice, okay? And I've been thanking you here recently for raising your voice, for standing up and making it known that you're not for these endless wars, for these bankers' wars and all of that, because it's prevented several conflicts. I can assure you that it's prevented several conflicts. And, you know, once again, I want to thank you for doing that. And please keep it up, because they're trying now, once again, and I don't know if I mentioned this yesterday or not, but now they're trying to make claims again about Bashar Assad using chemical weapons in Damascus, well, in Syria, okay? Not in Damascus, but in Idlib. But nonetheless, they're trying to ramp it back up again in Syria, and we know, you know, we've seen this happen time and time and time again, to where they make these claims about chemical weapons attacks and all of that, which makes no sense why Assad, who's won, essentially, against ISIS and the quote-unquote rebels, why he would gas his own people. It makes no sense, right? So, you know, it's because of people like you that share the information, that try to get the truth out, that has prevented us from being elbow deep in Venezuela right now, from being elbow deep in Iran right now, from Syria being attacked even more than what it already has been. You can thank yourself. You can thank yourself. But what I wanted to show you, I told you I come with documents, right? Oh, I thought I had that article up there. Anyway, I didn't. Now you see it. I told you I come with documents, and this is an RT article that I shared out today. Almost 2/3 of Americans oppose preemptive U.S. strike on Iran, fresh poll finds. It says a sizable majority of U.S. citizens oppose the idea of preemptive strikes on Iran and massively disapprove of Trump's policy toward the Islamic Republic, a survey has revealed as tensions continue to flare in the Gulf. Some 60% of Americans believe that the U.S. should not attack Iranian armed forces first, while a measly 12% supported carrying out preemptive attack, according to a Tuesday poll by Reuters. That's despite 53% of American adults referring to Iran as a serious or imminent threat. That figure, overlooked by many mainstream media outlets, was almost as large as the number of American adults, 51%, who believe their country is set to go to war against Iran in the next few years. I would venture to say within the next few months, if not weeks, but nerves in the troubled Gulf region were put more on edge last week after Donald Trump delivered a veiled threat to Iran via Twitter, saying that any conflict with the U.S. would mean the official end of Iran. During 2 years of his presidency, he also quit the hard-fought 2015 nuclear deal and reimposed sweeping sanctions on Iran's economy. Now, nearly half, 49% of Americans were notably unappreciative of Trump's handling of Iran. U.S.-Iran tensions were fueled by a string of American military deployments this month. The Pentagon has already sent an aircraft carrier strike group, a squadron of P-52 bombers, and a battery of Patriot missiles to the Middle East, stirring up fears of a looming conflict. Iran was skeptical about the U.S. willingness to engage in an all-out military confrontation, saying Washington lacked both the political will and military assets. And in the meantime, Tehran stated that while it does not want war, it remains ready for any eventuality. So there you go. This is just one of those things. One of the important jobs of what I do is gauging social reaction, okay? Because that's largely going to tell the tale of what's going to happen. And I'm not necessarily meaning with like wars abroad, but just in general, what's going to happen. And this is a thing that I do each and every day. I pay attention to social media. I pay attention to people's reactions, and the reason being is because that is vital information. That is extremely vital information to know. Not only to know what direction the country is heading, but also as a prepper to know what direction I need to head. Okay? Because my philosophy behind it as a prepper is the best thing to do. The balloon goes up. The best thing to do is avoid confrontation, avoid conflict, avoid people, okay? And do everything you can to make it for as long as you can, so to speak, in the dark, okay? Without anybody even knowing your whereabouts. Because the longer that you can hold out like that, the more undesirables, we'll say, will be taken care of, or they'll be taking care of each other, okay? So to me, it's a strategic move to not be seen. And most of us know this stuff. I mean, this is kind of common sense. But there's a lot of things that I look at as far as social reaction. Just generally, it's important to know this kind of stuff. Also, I like to study people. I've always been that way. I like to know what makes people tick. And so that's part of the reason why I do it. But I'm telling you, it's crazy. In fact, something interesting, over on another Facebook group that shall name unnamed. I used to name them all the time, but ever since they started really pushing their statist views, not so much. So somebody posted over there today an article about Florida and how in Florida, I don't know if it's already been like signed into law or they're working on it or what, but working on a law that in the schools the students have to stand for the pledge. Okay, they have to stand for the pledge. And the question was raised, more or less, do you think this is right? Well, absolutely not. Unless this is China or North Korea or something like that. But this is supposed to be the United States of America. Okay? And while I personally would stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and I would put my hand over my heart and I would repeat, okay, I don't think I have the right to force somebody else to do that. I think that's absolutely wrong. And of course, there are a lot of statist people over in that group. So a lot of people will, you got to do this, No, you don't. This is the United States of America. We're supposed to have the First Amendment right, which means you have the right to keep your ass set down and not do a damn thing if you so choose. I don't get it. People are demanding, like I talked about yesterday, people are demanding the end to their constitutional rights over selfishness so they can have their way. That's crazy. And that's one of the things that, I pay attention to when I'm gauging social media and people's reactions to things. Because that's important to know. That's important to know. The last thing that you want around you when the balloon goes up is a selfish person. Because let me tell you something. As the supplies start to dwindle, the more selfish that person is going to get. And you could wind up 6 foot under, or shallow grave, or no grave at all, over a little bit of nothing because they wanted it and it was yours. So keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. There is a whole hell of a lot of people that I see out there on social media that I would not want to be anywhere near after that balloon goes up. But a lot of people would think that they would be the top dog to be around. I'm telling you, this is a messed up, backwards society, and I don't think a lot of people really see what's on the other side of some of these, I'll call them personalities. Man, it's absolutely crazy. It really, truly is absolutely crazy. But anyway, I just, back to the topic that I was talking about. I do, seriously, I much appreciate everybody standing up and speaking up about conflicts and about this country getting involved in all these other conflicts. Because, look, not only can our country not afford it financially, but we don't need more men and women coming back in a box for bankers' wars, for wars for resources, for wars for empire building. We don't need that. Our federal government is supposed to be restricted to the point to where their only jobs are to protect the borders. Yeah, imagine that, right? Protect the borders, okay, and to make sure that the states, or no one else for that matter, interferes with our constitutional rights. Do you realize that is the only powers that the federal government has? To protect our borders and to make sure that nobody interferes with our constitutional rights. That's it. That's it in a nutshell, right? They're not supposed to have the FBI, the CIA, the FDA, the EPA, you name it. Throw out a bunch of letters out there, they got it. They're not supposed to have all of that. They're simply not. But they'll tell you, well, yeah, but we have to have the FBI and the CIA to protect your border. No, you don't. No, you don't. You know what? There would be a whole lot less amount of people and or nations wanting to cause us an issue if we weren't causing them an issue. And you'll see, it's in the headlines every day, and again yet today, how we're doing everything we can to financially ruin other countries and other corporations for our benefit. When you go around doing those kind of things, I would imagine you do have to be ready for war and have to go take out somebody else before they take you out. Because you're doing everything you can to ruin them and destroy their societies and their whole ways of life. This is insane. If our government would do what is constitutionally restricted to do, we wouldn't have these problems. We wouldn't have most of these problems. We damn sure wouldn't have all the veterans homeless in the streets. That's for a fact. For one, the money would be there to take care of the veterans that we did have, but that's just the whole thing of it. We wouldn't have that many, combat veterans. We wouldn't have that many combat veterans because we wouldn't be in conflict if we minded our own business and just protected our own borders. But anyway, I digress. It is what it is. So let me go ahead and let's do the headlines here. We will be joining up with Prepper Nurse 1 at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. So I'm not quite sure what the topic is over there today. I honestly have no idea. So let me bring up the screen and let's get through these headlines and go on from there. All right, Bayer, Dow, and L'Oreal using potentially harmful chemicals illegally, says an investigation. There's actually more than 650 companies that are breaking the European chemical safety laws. That is that's nuts. And I know the same thing goes on here. I mean, and what's crazy, and I can't speak for Europe, but I can speak for here. What's crazy is at most they get a slap on the wrist, right? You see these companies, they go to court and they get a $250,000 fine. But the thing of it is they profited in the billions. You know what I mean? The fine is nothing. Nothing. It may seem like a lot to us, but to them it's nothing. And it's crazy. It's crazy. Immunity bill submitted to Knesset with Netanyahu indictment pending. And that's all crazy too. There is something going on to where they're trying to get something put in place to grant government officials immunity from criminal prosecution, right? And whatever exactly this is will actually be protecting Netanyahu too. So in other words, several of the Israeli government officials are going to be able to get away with absolutely anything that they want to do. This is insane. I mean, this corruption in government, I mean, it is like almost in every single nation on the earth. But in some of them, like Israel and the United States, it's so rampant, it's unreal. Absolutely unreal. These folks should be held to a higher standard, like we're supposed to here. I don't get it. But see, that comes back to we the people again, right? When we the people are ready, we'll flick them off like a flea, pretty much. But we have to be ready. We have to be ready. There has to be enough people suffering enough in order to make it happen. And I think we're going to get there soon enough. I really do. The middle class is all but gone, okay? And they're trying to pick apart not only what little bit's left of the middle class, but then now they're also going after the poor people even more. Much, much more. And, you really can't go after... you can't go after the poor people much more. I mean, they're pretty much... There's not much that they have at this point. Really, it's crazy, and that's when you're going to see. That's when you will see all hell break loose, right? When you try to take what little people in poverty have, they will fight. You better believe they will fight. Seizure of Caracas's oil assets by U.S. endangers lives of sick Venezuelan kids treated abroad, says the foreign minister. U.S. Housing Secretary confuses industry term with cookie. And you say, here's the thing. I was several times had kind of said, you know what, I would have liked to have seen Ben Carson have a true shot at the presidency. And I have no shame that I've said that many, many, many times. Well, maybe I was wrong. But there again, not everybody's an expert in everything. But you would think if he was head of the housing and urban development, you would think that he would know these things. REO, which is I can't remember now what REO stands for, but anyway, He thought she was talking about Oreos, the lady that he was talking to, and it's stupid. It's ridiculous. Here's the problem, folks. These are the people running the country. Okay? These same people that don't even know the terminology in the very fields that they are head of want to dictate you around like a peasant. Okay? And they can't even do a little bit of research to know what the hell the job is about that they do. Right? It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. A UN disarmament chief says risks of nuclear weapons use higher than ever since World War II. And I would say I have to agree with that statement. Trudeau warns China against arbitrary detention as Canada works to ship Huawei CFO to the U.S. So I want to say that there was like one or two other people that China just detained or arrested or something like that was from, if I'm not mistaken, from Canada. So I think that's probably what this is over. We'll try that again. Frustrated Democrats plan emergency impeachment meeting after McGahn subpoena snub. Folks, and I'm speaking, and I doubt I've got many Democrats that listen to the show. Not that we take a political bias, but we tell the truth. And, it's been my experience that people on the right can handle the truth. More people on the right can handle the truth more than what I've seen a lot of people on the left be able to handle it. I can't help it. Again, it's one of those social gauge things that I go by. Not to say that everybody on the right can handle the truth, because I beg to differ. But, definitely more red team can handle truth than blue team, I'll tell you that. And, I would just say to blue team, knock it off. Knock it off. You lost an election with pulling this crap, okay? Not the impeachment stuff per se, but with whatever kind of lunacy you want to call that. And then you just keep continuing. You keep continuing. Look, there is nothing there, okay? I don't like Trump, right? I'm glad he's in office versus Hillary. Right? But I don't play the lesser of two evils game, okay? I don't think he should even be the one in there. Okay? I choose neither. Neither. There's much more brilliant people in this country and much more well-deserving people in this country that could have did a much better job running this country. That's the facts. That's the facts. But look, we got Trump, okay? There was no Russian collusion. Deal with it. Take your little Xanax or a whole bar of them or whatever and have a nap. Don't forget your stuffed animal. And shut the hell up. Please. I mean, come on. There was no collusion. Okay? And now you're trying to go after something entirely different. What's the word here? Not collusion. What is it that they're going after now? I can't remember the term. That he was more or less trying to scare people from, I don't know if you would say testifying or what the case may be. I can't remember the word for it, but it's from thing to thing to thing, right? And it's, obstruction. Thank you, Harvey. Obstruction. Come on. I mean, it's ridiculous. There's a whole hell of a lot of things that you could actually be nailing him on. Maybe not, to the level of impeachment, but you could damn well threaten his 2020 election if you would get off this obstruction and collusion and all that crap and actually use something that has some validity to it, maybe. I mean, I don't get it. And that's kind of what makes me look at all of this and say, well, maybe they're even working together more than what I imagine they are. Because if there's all these things that's not being brought up, okay, how come they're not bringing up the economy, for one? Okay, how come they're not bringing that up? Because, see, every time, and by the way, every single president does this. I don't know of a single president that has ever stepped up to a podium and said, you know what, my economy sucks. My economy is absolute crap. You know, I don't know of a single president that's ever done that. But Trump is out there talking about how it's, you know, the economy's the best that it's ever been. And we've got record amounts of stores shuttering their doors. Okay, we've got so many different balloons getting ready to pop, it's unreal. Our economy is not in good shape. Our economy is far from good shape. You can't throw those unemployment numbers out there because those are the people that are receiving unemployment. Okay, not all of the unemployed people. We've got record numbers of unemployed people in this country. Record numbers of unemployed people. How can you have the best unemployment rates ever and a record of number of people of actually being unemployed at the same time? It's not even numerically possible. Okay? Not even conceivably, right? And I'm just giving one example of what the blue team could use as actually good ammunition in the 2020 election. But they're not. They're going after fairy tales. It's ridiculous. It's crazy. Top Chinese CCTV manufacturers Hikvision and Dawei named as next U.S. blacklist targets. Full of low IQ, North Korean roast Biden after presidential hopeful attacks Kim Jong-un. Almost two-thirds of Americans oppose preemptive... Oh, I already talked about that. 6 dead, 200 injured as Indonesia gripped by post-election riots. U.S. ultimatum to Turkey over S-400 deal unacceptable, says the Kremlin. Our eyes in the sky, India launches all-weather satellite to control borders. Stupid economics, attack on Huawei tells world to avoid doing business with U.S. And you know what? I agree with that. I most certainly 100% agree with that. You know, they're not going after Huawei because there's some threat. Okay, they're going they're not a security threat. Okay, they're going after them because they're a competition. Okay, because they're a competition and they want to wipe out their competition. I'm sorry, but I believe that's unethical and immoral. I do. I don't think that that's truly a part of capitalism. In fact, I think that's anti-capitalism. That's monopolism, if you want to put that word on it, if you can put that word on it. I might have just made it up. But still, it's trying to create a monopoly. Okay, that is not capitalism. Trying to destroy any of your competition. That's not capitalism. Capitalism is busting your ass to be better than your competition so that people want you more than they want them. That's capitalism. That's capitalism. And being allowed to do that. Because right now our government doesn't know how to do that. Especially with small businesses. So, you know, yeah. I not just business, other countries are at the point they don't want much to do with this anymore. It's crazy. We're destroying ourselves. We're absolutely destroying ourselves. Turkey braces for potential U.S. sanctions over S-400 purchase as troops begin training in Russia. Monsanto abused dominant position in India, overcharging farmers for GMO seed, says a probe. Mass exodus of U.S. firms from China amid trade war won't mean they'll be coming home, survey shows. And that's very, very true. You know, many of these companies, they're only worried about their profit margin, okay? They're not They don't care about making America great again. They don't give a damn about that. They're worried about their profit margin. So let's just go to another country that has cheap labor. Okay? It's that simple. It's that simple. The idea isn't to target countries with import tariffs. It's to target goods, regardless of the country that comes from. Or to make Jennifer cringe, irregardless. But anyway, this is insane. Healthy dog euthanized to be buried with owner in Virginia. I mean, come on, really? That speaks the society. It really does. Missiles fired at Russian Khimim Air Base. I never can say that. I don't know how it's pronounced. In Syria amid massive militant offensive, says the Ministry of Defense. Nashville church shooter wanted to kill a minimum of 10 white churchgoers, says prosecutors. I don't know if... it seems like I do remember this shooting happening, but you know what? It didn't get near the press that many of the other shootings got. I wonder why that is. This is insane. Mass sterilization. Kenyan doctors find anti-fertility agent in UN tetanus vaccine. And I'll refer back to when I was talking about kratom. Okay? I don't trust the medical industry or anybody that regulates medical industries, and I use the term regulates real loosely. Okay? Not one bit. And this is why. This is exactly why. Absolutely nuts. China's other nuclear option in trade war with U.S. rare earth metals. Let's see. Upset Duarte orders Canadian trash to be returned or dumped in territorial waters. Can you really blame them? Let's see. That sounds like something Trump would do, right? I can't blame him. I like a lot of Trump's attitude and his ideas and the stuff the words that come out of his face, right? But he doesn't follow through. So, I do though. I like what he says his ideas are. I like what we hear. But it would help if he followed through. Trump is engaged in a cover-up, says Nancy Pelosi, and then he turned right around and said, I don't do cover-ups. Trump fires back at Pelosi after walking out of White House meeting. So, they're in a lover spat again. Shutting down Huawei 10 times more important than trade deal with China, says Bannon. Again, this is crazy. Eliminating your competition is not capitalism. That's trying to run a monopoly. It's not the same. Capitalism partially works on the engine of having competition. Okay? So that you strive to do better. You strive to do better. And so that you have many competitors. So not only are you striving for for quality, but you're also striving for price, along with a whole gambit of things. That is capitalism. That is free market. Okay? That's not what they want. They want monopolies. They want to be the only ones. And that's disastrous. That's disastrous. It truly, truly is. No matter what part of it you look at, it's bad news. For one, if there were more companies in a particular line doing things, there would be more employed people in those fields. Okay, if you've only got one company do it, believe me, because it's all about the bottom line, they're going to streamline their company as much as they possibly can and have as few workers as they can working for them. Need I talk about Walmart checkouts? That's the way major corporations do. They streamline. as much as they possibly can. They don't care about the employee. They care about their profit. But if you've got multiple businesses in the same field, they can't quite streamline down to that same level. It's a little harder to do. So you do eventually, you wind up, in the end, more people employed in those fields. That's the way it works. And that's just one aspect of it. There's so many aspects of it. That's just one. Anyway, that is the headlines I've got for you. Let me go ahead and get the monologue closed up, and we'll continue on. If you're here for the live show, stick around. Don't go anywhere. Don't do anything. We'll be live till 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. We'll join up with Prepper Nurse 1 at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. Again, I don't remember what the topic is, or hadn't looked yet to see what the topic is, but we will be joining up with him at 7. If you're here just for the monologue, or you're watching a recording of the monologue later on, thank you very much. As always, God bless you. We love you, and be one with your spirit.